Hey there, Cope Reynolds here again. I got a little idea for a video today I had never tried before. We've done a lot of stuff with Glocks. They're all on videos. We've shot them at 38 below zero. We've filled them up with dirt. We filled them up with ice. We filled them up with, shot them underwater. Boiled one frame and put it back together, shot it. And done a lot of stuff with them, and I thought today a discussion come up on a forum on Facebook about how easy the Glock was to field strip. And I said, well, it's pretty easy. It don't get much easier. And I thought, well, if it's that easy, can I do it with one hand? Why would I want to do that? I don't know. I thought maybe if you were injured or you only had one hand, or something happened and you needed to do minor repairs or stoppage of some kind, whatever, I thought, well, maybe might get some use out of it sometime. So I'm going to try this and see what happens. And I don't know, we probably won't do a detailed strip on it, although I might later. It's kind of an interesting topic, so we might get into that some other time. But I just want to do a field strip, just so you can do basic maintenance, basic cleaning and lubrication and get it back together in working order. So I'm going to use the gun that I'm carrying. I've got my trusty 17 laying here on the table in case we get attacked by zombies during the middle of the video. So this is a 23 with the Glock 23 with a 9mm conversion barrel in it. I'm the only one home, so it doesn't matter which way I point it. I'm conscious of that always. So the first thing we need to do is to unload it. So I'm actually kind of doing this out of necessity here too. Help give me the idea. So I'm going to put it back in the holster, take the magazine out. Now I need to get the round out of the chamber. How are we going to go about that? A couple of different ways to do it. And my favorite, I think it's safe, I think it's fast, is to bring the gun down. I'm pointing probably 2 feet behind me. As long as you're conscious of your area around you, there's no danger in this that I can see. Finger off the trigger, hit the pants pocket, and drop the round out. And I'll kick that over here so I can pick it up a little bit later. Now we're going to make sure it's clear. A couple of ways to do that. We can take this and I can look in there and see that it's clear. Or I can get up here, top of a table, wall, something like that, and peek in there and make sure that it's empty. Magazine well's clear. So I want to make sure that all this is safe, because the next thing we have to do to disassemble the Glock and several other handguns is pull the trigger. So we're still going to point it in a safe direction. Press the trigger, and now the fun starts. So the first thing to do, and I think it's going to be the hardest, is I've got to come up with a couple of ideas here. We have to push down the slide lock. The slide lock, and some people call it disassembly lever, or disassembly button, or whatever, but it's a slide lock. So it's got you see the button here on this side? It's got another one just like it on the other side. These have to come down simultaneously, evenly, so that the slide can come off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one finger, the gun's clear, nobody's home, not worried about that. I'm going to put one finger through the trigger guard so that I can get my thumb and forefinger on the slide lock. What I'm going to do is come over here to the wall. I'm going to push that forward. It only has to go forward about 1/4 of an inch. 3/16 of an inch, something like that. Pull that down. Now the slide's ready to come off. Get rid of the frame. Take the recoil spring out. Set that aside. And we'll take the barrel out. Now, it's probably easier if I do some of this, if I lay it down on the table and put it together, but my idea here is that if you're in a field situation somewhere, maybe it's a little bit fantasy here, but it's my idea, so it's my story and I'm sticking to it. You were somewhere where you didn't want to lay your parts down, whether it was snow, water, mud, whatever it might be. So you could easily put these parts in your pocket or something and hold on to them and still put it back together without laying them down on the table. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to put it back together now. Now before I put it together, I'm going to show you a little deal on the barrel right here. See right under my finger? Whoops. See right under my finger right here? I'm going to kind of turn that a couple of different ways so you can see it. Underneath the finger down close to the barrel is a crescent-shaped notch in there. That crescent-shaped notch is for this flange here. Now, you've got one end, you got a little round button on here. See that? And the other end, you got that wider flange. The little round button goes on the muzzle end of the slide. So we're going to put the barrel in. I'm going to pick this up. Okay. Now I'm going to pick the spring up, the recoil spring. The little button goes towards me because the muzzle is pointing towards me. I'm going to stick that in that hole there. And push the recoil spring in. See how that's set in there? It's important that you get this right because you'll break that flange if you put it in backwards and fire the gun. You're going to have a problem right there. So we got to put the slide back on the gun. Maybe. There we go. Okay, function check, everything works. Okay, now we need to load it back up. So back in the holster. Magazine back in. Make sure it's locked in there, in place. Pull it out. Go down here and hit the, I like the sharper edge rear sights on here instead of the, like the Novaks and some of those that have the sloped front, just for that reason, specifically for that reason. I don't care about the slope one way or the other, you know, other than that. But with that slope on there, it makes it very difficult to find a way, whether you're doing it on the edge of a table or the wall or your boot heel or whatever, it makes it very difficult. So I prefer the square back sights or square front, I guess it would be. So before we go back in the holster, we need to check the chamber and make sure that it's loaded. You can pull that back there. You can see the round in there. If you don't have the strength to do that with your thumb and your hand, you go back over here, find a car door or you know, tree or whatever. You find something to push that slide back a little bit and make sure that it's loaded. Make sure that your slide is pushed forward like it's supposed to be. Finger straight, back in the holster. And that's it. For whatever little bit of good that may do a couple of you, that's the extent of it. So I may try to do a detailed strip on this sometime here in the not too distant future. I'll check into that and see if we want to try that. All right, that's all I got for now. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you later.